Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have another match of the Link's Awakening Switch Any Percent tournament. We are in losers bracket round 1. Matchup is Miniretin versus Reeenium, and commentator for this match will be Kincaid1. Take it from here.
Hello everyone, back again, same as yesterday. This time I'm going to be solo commentating, picking up the slack for all these other... That's fine, because I love commentating these matches. Now, Miniretin versus Rhaenyam. Miniretin has been putting on quite a training regimen lately. He is actually third place now. After his first tournament match, he got a PB and he's now third place in any percent. So, Reeenium better have been doing some hard training, because I think this might be a bit of an uphill climb for her to beat Miniretin if his game is as good as in his PB. Now let's start here. Both are runners. Getting the shield, of course. Yeah, Miniretin third place. Who would have guessed? Apparently he was grinding away for that for a very long time. It's so cool that he finally got it. Yeah, Rhaenyam ahead by like 2 seconds maybe, just due to differences in starting the file for each runner. No big deal in the first sequence here. I noticed Reeenium has splits, by the way, splits for the tournament run. I don't know, might get a PB or something, might want to save them. There have been 2 tournament PBs at this tournament, both from Strathel. Let's see how both our runners fare in the mysterious forest. You can bleed a little bit of time in here just from silly mistakes, you know, walking through grass, touching enemies, that sort of thing. Falling in the pits and the caves. It's not a big deal, but you don't really want to be losing any time in, you know, such a simple early split. It's just, you know, little silly things to be losing time over. Both of them just running right through the cave though, like it's nothing. Both of them getting the mushroom, heading back now en route to the witch's hut. Ooh, Reeenium grabbing the 50 rupees in here, so that tells me that she is not going to be going for genie skip in the second dungeon. Yes, this is just a normal game. This isn't like a randomizer or a bingo or something. Reeenium on 1 heart, picking up some health, smart move. No, the genie is Aladdin's friend. He would never do that. There is a rando being worked on for this game, tentatively. There has been work done for it. Like, extremely early stages, just like writing out spreadsheets for logic and whatnot. No D2HW stands for No Dungeon 2 Hinox Warp. It's a trick we banned specifically for this tournament because it's the only trick in the run which is actually random. It has a 1 in 3 chance of working, and we just didn't want to have that in a tournament setting because you could just be sitting there all day throwing yourself at this trick until it works. And so we just banned it explicitly for the purpose of the tournament. It's just any percent minus that one trick, and the route has not changed since that trick was found. Like, nothing new has been found, so it's just the same route as before that trick was even found. Both players getting the tail key for opening the first dungeon after turning Terran back into a human being there. Don't eat mushrooms in the woods. Don't eat strange mushrooms in the woods, or you will turn into a raccoon. Miniretin actually pulling a significant distance ahead here for this early split, at least. Rhaenyam was like a couple seconds ahead at the start, but because she grabbed the 50 rupees in the cave there, that lost her some time. But that's a sign that she's going to be taking a slightly different route than Miniretin here. Miniretin is presumably going to be going for a skip in the second dungeon, a skip other than the one which we have banned for this tournament, while Reeenium is not going to be going for that, presumably. Yeah, Reeenium also fell down. I think Miniretin fell down too, though. I mean, no genie skip is slower but safer. And I know in her first run she didn't go for genie skip either. Miniretin doing the boost off the trap there. Just a little micro time save. Really cool. Wish there were more places to do that, but there really aren't. Rhaenyam not doing the boost off the trap. Miniretin doing the what are they called? Spike beetle quick kill there, the way that I love seeing it be done, where you hit both of them from the east like that. It's so good, and it's like very slightly faster than doing it the other way. Rhaenyam messing up the quick kill there, using one too many powders, or actually two too many, ideally. Killing the hard hat beetles in the coolest and most efficient way possible. Yeah, if this was hard mode, or hero mode as it's called, you wouldn't see any hearts dropping. Hearts don't drop in that mode. It's actually pretty dang hard, especially if you impose additional challenges on yourself, like no level 2 sword, no color tunic, none of that extra stuff. Getting the boss key. Man, Miniretin has really just like steadily pulled ahead of Reeenium here. Reeenium is just, you know, bleeding little bits of time, just, you know, oops, there goes some time, just dropping some time there and there. And Miniretin's just been able to pull ahead. but it's not too much to worry about because as the people are saying in chat, this run is very crazy and it gets very punishing later on. It becomes a very volatile run. Miniretin going into Moldorm as Reeenium fights Rolling Bones. Both of them now have the Rock's Feather, the first dungeon item, which lets you jump, which any normal human should be able to do otherwise. But Link needs a special item to do that. Pretty good Moldorm kill. Not as fast as possible, but not like bad either. Finishing up as Rhaenyam herself goes into Moldorm. Miniretin getting the first dungeon instrument, Full Moon Cello. Gotta collect all 8 instruments from all 8 dungeons. That's the objective of the game, and then you fight with the final boss. Reeenium not too far behind, like I said. This early split is pretty inconsequential unless you do something catastrophic like die. Then that could set you back maybe a bit too much than you would like. Here's the owl again. He's gonna tell us some handy advice in German. And we're gonna follow it loosely. We are gonna go where he tells us to, but not quite in the way that he intends or the way that the game intends. These kids are telling us that Bow Wow, the chain chomp that was on the post there at the start, has been, oh no, kidnapped by the Moblins. How terrible. Truly awful. But that would be real nice if someone else bothered to rescue him, because we don't have the time. Not really high on our list of priorities here to dog sit for someone. Ooh, Miniretin standing a little too close there for the trick. This is the first trick of the run. Bow Wow skip. I think he's actually a little bit too far to the left, maybe. I can't tell. No, there he has it. But this is gonna be tight for him. He's gonna have to jump over that plant. If he hits it, then he will die. Yeah, the chicken there acts as a ceiling. It's like a curved ceiling. He gets the jump, by the way. Doesn't touch the plant and doesn't die. Very good. The chicken acts as like a curved ceiling, and when Link gets launched out of the like, he hits the curve and takes on its angle, and so he goes backwards onto the trees, and then you just jump into the dungeon. And you don't need Bow Wow. And oh my goodness, that is very bad for Reeenium. The fish strikes again. That fish is pretty darn infamous because it has the habit of doing exactly what you just saw, where it jumps up right as you're trying to jump over that gap there. You don't need to hold anything. You can, you should be mashing buttons to get spat out of the like without losing your shield, but if you just wait, you'll be launched out anyways, except you'll lose your shield. But when you're launched like that, you can't move, so you just need the chicken to make you get launched backwards like that. Miniretin jumping before the stair cutscene, free like quarter-second time loss. Please stop doing that, people. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Okay, Miniretin is in the second dungeon now. That fish was pretty bad for her. That's a pretty just avoidable early game mistake, because usually you want to jump slash at that gap where she got hit by the fish. If you jump slash the fish, like, it's just impossible for anything to hit you, so the fish will just die. But she didn't jump slash, so she got hit by the fish. Miniretin killing the Hinox flawlessly, by the way. Worth mentioning, that is the room, that Hinox room is the room in which we would perform the trick that is banned for this tournament. You would get grabbed by the Hinox in a certain way, and it would teleport you to the end of the dungeon, but only with a 1 in 3 chance. It's purely random. Miniretin getting the bracelet and now leaving. You might be wondering, why is he leaving? That's because although we do ban that trick I just mentioned for the tournament, there is another trick we can do in this dungeon inside the boss room to skip the boss itself. But it requires the item from the next dungeon. So instead, we just leave this dungeon halfway and then come back later when it's most convenient after we have the boots, the Pegasus boots from the next dungeon. And then we perform that skip. Saves about a minute as opposed to not doing it. Miniretin is buying some medicine from Crazy Tracy here. This medicine is very important for a trick later on. Although in this game, compared to the original, they did add bottles and you can get fairies in bottles. They don't revive you if you die. The medicine Miniretin just got revives you when you die, because that's what it did in the original game. And, you know, why would they make it superfluous by making fairies do the same thing? But yeah, it revives you when you die, and we're going to be using that later. Meanwhile, Miniretin is going to be shopping, or not. Just going to be getting everything for free, and we'll be paying the ultimate price. But it doesn't matter, because he can just steal again if the shopkeeper would allow him to. There we go. No, fairies do not revive you, because if they did, you would just have 3 revives on you and the medicine would be completely superfluous. Oh wow, that was strange. He got the powder out there, but it didn't stun any of them because he got hit. But there we go, saving it. That is Villa Skip. It skips having to help Richard out by going to Canalit Castle and getting his 5 leaves, and it also skips all the trading you need to do up to that point. And the body of that pincer is a series of solid physics-affected spheres, and anything that is solid and affected by physics in this game is broken. And you just do that and you can get on the trees. Also, I didn't even realize, I should mention, Rhaenyam, as I said, I predicted correctly, she is not going for Genie Skip, the skip that Miniretin is going to be doing later in the dungeon to skip this boss. Also, yeah, grabbing the top pot, hate to see it, bottom pot is faster. But yeah, Reeenium is not doing the skip that Miniretin left the dungeon in order to perform later. It's not, because you don't normally do it in any percent, because it's obsoleted in that category, but we have the trick which obsoletes it banned in this tournament, so it's actually worth doing here. It's not the most familiar trick for runners, so I don't blame her for not knowing how to do it or not being confident in doing it. But yeah, this will definitely make an interesting race here, as Miniretin goes into the 3rd dungeon, Key Cavern. After that nice bill skip of his, Rhaenyam is just going to be taking care of Genie here, the worst boss in the game, because He's just very slow and boring to fight. Yeah, Minnie's gonna look ahead by a lot until the very end when he returns to D2 to perform Genie Skip. Gonna make it hard to tell who's in the lead now. Rhaenyam taking care of Genie there. Let's see if she grabs the heart container, and let's see if Miniretin grabs this piece of power. Not grabbing the piece of power. Don't know how I feel about that. Because generally, ooh, grabbing the acorn instead though. Yeah, I was about to say, what was he doing going to fight the Dodongos with 2 bombs? You don't do that in the tournament route, you have to go get bombs back here first. Generally, you want the piece of power for this one segment of the dungeon because you do all this walking just in this sort of loop over here. You just walk around this loop, and the piece of power makes you move faster. So this is one of the few instances where picking it up and waiting through the cutscene of picking it up is actually good because it saves time and you just move faster through this whole sequence here. But then immediately after this mini-boss here, the Dodongo snakes, Miniretin will be getting the boots, and so the piece of power isn't too useful past that point. It's useful in like one other spot, potentially. Rhaenyam buying some medicine as well. Now she will be going to steal from the shop also, and then performing Villa Skip. Miniretin having a pretty good Dodongo snakes fight there. Just pretty normal fight. And now he's getting the boots. Pretty good item. They let you run fast, so we can now jump, pick up objects, and run fast. 3 things that any normal person should be able to do. Ooh, worth mentioning here, you can see Reeenium is able to buy bombs in the shop because she actually completed the 2nd dungeon. Bombs do not appear in the shop until you complete the 2nd dungeon. So that's going to make a pretty interesting dynamic there between these 2 runners. Ooh, Miniretin just wasted 2 bombs and 2 arrows there. 2 bomb arrows. Didn't get any of the bombites there. Yeah, like I said, because Reeenium completed the dungeon, the 2nd dungeon, she's able to buy bombs in the shop, whereas Miniretin had to take that little detour when I was talking about the piece of power to get the bombs in the top left, the northwest of the dungeon. But Reeenium is just able to buy 10. That's pretty interesting. This seems like a pretty interesting run so far. Let's see if Rhaenyam can get this Villa Skip here. No, not quite high enough there. Shame. Just gonna have to retry it. Miniretin getting 300 rupees there, by the way, because later in the run we need 300 rupees, and there's just this easy, convenient, quick, golden 300 rupees sitting right there in the dungeon. Alright, Reeenium getting Villa Skip. What's that, 2nd try? Not bad, not bad. Just... Alright, she got the jump too. Alright. She's good, she's good. She did pick up the heart in the 2nd dungeon there, so she's gonna have a little bit more health than Miniretin. It'll be interesting to see if that pays off at any point in the run, as Miniretin heads to the boss of the 3rd dungeon. Ooh, getting a little love tap by the keys there. Not a big deal. Here he is, Gigazol, or Slimeye in English, but most people prefer his German name, Gigazol. Gotta split him in half, take out both the eyes, with Miniretin getting stunned there. Not a big deal, maybe like 1 or 2 seconds. But definitely avoidable. It's all those easily avoidable time losses that add up. Getting the third instrument, the Sea Lily's Bell. Miniretin exiting the dungeon as Rhaenyam just starts to make her way through it here. And after this cutscene, Miniretin's gonna take a little detour to unlock a warp point that's very important for later, because it's just close to a lot of stuff we need to return to, and now is the best time to get it. And you get to see some lovely boots action here. Boots make you run so fast. They're so good. So lovely. And there's the warp point. Now he's going to be warping back to Mabe Village here to do a little business there. Gonna be entering the Dream Shrine. Ooh, Dodongo snakes. Giving Reeenium the okie doke here. Fake out, ooh, bomb just sliding off. That's a wasted bomb right there. The bomb and arrow count in this run is pretty tight. This game is particularly, I don't know what you would say, ungenerous with bombs and arrows compared to like A Link to the Past. Miniretin getting the ocarina. Now we can play songs, if only we knew how to use it. That's okay, because we're just gonna listen to Marin sing and we will instantly learn how to play the ocarina. Yes, stingy, that's a good word. That's a good word. Yeah, enemies do not drop bombs or arrows randomly. Well, except for one enemy. There's one enemy that drops bombs only when they're killed with bombs. These bomb enemies here on Reeenium's side. One enemy that drops arrows, and one enemy that randomly drops bombs and arrows. Bombs or arrows. And then the rest of the bombs and arrows in the game are just in the dungeon. You find one bomb or one arrow in a pot. A lot more bombs in pots and arrows. But there are also those floating 10 bomb, 10 arrow pickups in the dungeons as well. Miniretin will be abusing the fox here, a time-honored tradition of this run, as the Octorok gives him a little bit of trouble there. We're going to be taking this fox far, far away for nefarious purposes. In the original games, you of course couldn't do this because there were screen transitions in the overworld, and you know, how are you going to take the fox beyond the screen transition? But in this game, you can just do that. You can just take a chicken anywhere, you can take a fox almost anywhere. The overworld in this game is really just a little sandbox. I have so much fun just playing around in it. finding all sorts of weird interactions. Reeenium getting slammered, schlobberknocked by these gels here. It is worth noting that she did a slightly different route in the dungeon since she bought bombs in the shop. She didn't have to go get the 10 bombs in the back of the dungeon like Miniretin did. Alright, let's see if Miniretin can get this trick here. This is what the medicine is used for, this trick right here, Angler Key Skip. And he gets it. Okay, very nice. If you miss that trick, you lose 1 minute and 30 seconds because you have to bring the fox all the way back, but he just did that. You die midair using the medicine, or using a bomb, and then the fox attacks up at you and it just sort of slides your dead body onto the keyhole, and then you revive with the medicine, and you can just go straight into the dungeon. And that skips a whole textbook worth of stuff, basically. Lots of side questy type stuff that you would otherwise have to do. I guess it's not necessarily side questy since it's, you know, literally required in a normal game, normal playthrough, but it feels side questy. It's like secondary to the actual objective that it's blocking. Miniretin getting the double key skip first try there, just a simple little bomb jump there to skip 2 keys in the dungeon. We skip a lot of keys in this dungeon. We skip 3 small keys, 2 right there and then 1 later. Let's see how cue ball turns out for Miniretin. Flawless cue ball quick kill by Miniretin. That's a lot harder than it looks because cue ball has this big plate of armor on his face and it kind of curves around to his sides as well. He can be very obnoxious because of that. Reeenium finishing up the 3rd dungeon as Miniretin makes his way out of the 4th. Just like the 2nd dungeon, Miniretin is going to be leaving this dungeon early for a very good reason. Because if you finish the 4th dungeon and then go south of a certain point on the map, a ghost will spawn and start following you. And while he's following you, you can't go into any other dungeons. You have to do this little side quest with him, which takes a while. But if you just leave the dungeon part way and then save it for when you have nothing else to do south of that ghost spawning point, you can just come back later and finish it, and then finish up your business, and the ghost will never spawn. And he'll also be getting the 2nd optional song here. Manbo's Mambo lets you teleport to any unlocked warp point. Very handy. Lets you get around quickly. Miniretin tooting on the ocarina as Reeenium makes her way to get her own here in the Dream Shrine. Taking it easy there with the arm mimics. Miniretin on his way to the 5th dungeon right now. Catfish's Maw. There's Angler's Tunnel, which is the 4th dungeon, and Catfish's Maw. They're both fish themed. You probably couldn't see the 4th dungeon because there's a giant waterfall in front of it, but it does look like a fish. Trust me. Oh, skipping Mambo will happen one day, trust me. Trust me. Ooh, this first room in D5, giving Miniretin a little trouble there. Definitely less than ideal room right there. That's really the only room in the dungeon that matters. It goes only by D5 room, because if you have a bad room in that room, you have a bad D5, pretty much. Aside from the one trick at the end of this dungeon, which you don't want to miss. Rhaenyam abusing a fox of her own here, as she makes her way to the angler keyhole. Ooh, Miniretin on some low health here, but it's okay because when you're on 1 heart or lower, the game drops hearts like crazy, so you won't die. Yeah, Reeenium isn't doing genie skip. She finished dungeon 2 normally, but she did miss Villa skip once. And she also fell down on Bow Wow skip. She got hit by the fish and fell down. So they are doing different routes, but she did also definitely lose some time. On Miniretin's side, however, you just saw there he did the first of 4 fights against Master Stalfos. He has stolen the hook shot from us, the dungeon item, and he's challenged us to come get it. So we have to fight him 4 times. Not the most thrilling fight, but it's alright enough. Alright, Reeenium making her way to the angler keyhole here. This is not a trick you want to miss. Like I said, if you miss this trick, that's 1 minute and 30 seconds down the drain. They are doing different routes, but Reeenium did also mess up 2 tricks so far. So she has lost some time, but they are also doing different routes. Okay, that is very good. Okay, Rhaenyam getting angler key skip as well. Thank goodness. In the last race, it was very tragic. One of our runners missed angler key skip several times, and when that happens, the other person just sort of runs away with the race. Rhaenyam for getting the 10 bombs there, going back to get them. Good on her part. On Miniretin's side, though, watch his screen here. He's about to perform a trick. You might have seen he made a manual save there for safety. Oh, no. Ah, no, he tried to save it, but he was just a little too slow on the pickup there. Again, is that just his setup? Is that just the way he does that? Because I'm pretty sure he did that in his first race as well, where he gets on the right side of the hook shot. I never see anyone else do that. It is? Okay, both times I've seen that now I've been like, oh no! But no, that's just the way he does it. Reeenium falling into the water there, as Miniretin retries Slimy will skip here. This is why he made that manual save, because after you beat Master Stalfos here, the game auto saves. So if you don't manually save, you can't retry this trick. Oh, Reeenium dying there. That's fine, she can just retry the trick. Miniretin getting his trick though, Slimy will skip. Like I said, anything solid and affected by physics is very broken, and the hookshot is one of those things. And you can use it and a bomb to fly up onto the wall right like that, and you just skip half the dungeon and skip the boss and all that good stuff. Alright, Reeenium getting the double key skip there. Good for her. And now Miniretin is gonna make his way back into the dungeon here, because although he did beat the dungeon, he didn't get the hook shot. Because when you use it for the trick like that, you can't pick it up because it goes flying off. So you do need to make this little detour back into the dungeon to pick it up, because we do need it. Cue Ball giving Rhaenyam a little run for money here. Oh, could she die on Cue Ball here? That would be very tragic. Reeenium, do not get hit again. Do not get hit again by Cue Ball. I'm very surprised she's hitting Cue Ball with the spin slash on the right side like that. Usually it just doesn't work out because of the way that Link spins the sword. Alright, she's playing it safe, definitely reasonable on this health here. Okay. And she better grab this fairy. Yes, very nice. Okay. Reeenium lives to fight another day. Meanwhile, Miniretin is going to be making his way to the Armos Maze so that he can reach Southern Face Shrine and get the face key for the next dungeon, Face Shrine. He's on 3 hearts, very good. Don't want to be on 2 hearts or lower in here, because if you touch one of these Armos when they're awake, they deal 2 hearts of damage and you will die. Very nice, very nice. Rhaenyam getting Mambo on her side now, so she'll be making her way to the 5th dungeon shortly after this. Ooh, the tragic acorn. Not good. Just free time loss. And here's Armos Knight. Killing him quickly is a lot harder than it looks, because he has some very deceptive, very strange iframes, but Miniretin pulls it off flawlessly there. 2 spin slashes, 2 arrows, and there's the face key. Yeah, the acorn is pretty silly. It spawns after you kill a certain amount of enemies without taking damage. The game is like, oh, you've done such a good job not taking damage. Here's an item which makes you take half as much damage. Wonderful. As Rhaenyam makes her way to the 5th dungeon, Miniretin's going to be making his way to the 6th. Again, like EDL has said in chat, they are doing different routes, so it may seem like Miniretin is a very big distance ahead here. But once we reach towards the end of the game, that gap is gonna fade away. Although, as I said, Reeenium did miss a couple tricks, but Miniretin also missed a couple tricks on his own. Well, that was a rather strange way that Reeenium did that room there, going along the bottom rather than the middle. But pretty fine room. Miniretin now in Dungeon 6, Face Shrine. Most people's favorite dungeon, because we actually play most of it. It has like a cool but easy trick. It has lots of cool bomb arrow usage. It has just lots of stuff you have to do. Lots of equips. And It has the best boss in the run. Because of the way that you kill the boss quickly. And now Miniretin getting the dungeon item, the level 2 power bracelet. It lets you pick up these elephant statues as well as push aside that rooster statue in the town square of Maid Village. That's all it does. Reeenium making quick work of Master Stalfos there. Taking some hits. Let's see how Miniretin handles this this Wizrobe key here, this room. Ah, interesting. He's not stunning the Wizrobes or bomb arrowing the anti-fairy. He's just gonna wait it out with a single bomb. Not bad, not bad. Slower than the other options, but you know, not too much slower. It's not a big deal. And here's the trick for this dungeon. Miniretin's trying to perform the wall ride. If you have the boots, you can just dash and then jump and veer back towards the wall, and you can get on it like this. Ooh, he fell off. Not the biggest time loss in the world there, but definitely don't want that to happen. Time loss is time loss. Having a little trouble getting on the wall in itself here. Right, let's see if you can do this. It is a little finicky. You might notice he's just sort of moving slow there and then moving quickly. In order to move quickly like that, you need to hold slightly away from the wall for at least a little bit. So that's where the risk of falling off comes from. And here we're playing Marin's song to kill these enemies. The song is just so awful that these things lose their will to live. Now he's taken care of the second batch of Dodongo snakes here. Same as the first and the third dungeon, except these have a bunch of pits to just make it more obnoxious. And Reeenium is going to be heading into getting some health here. I said same as the first in the third dungeon, the first set of Dodongo snakes. Reeenium's going to be making her way to Master Stalfos 4 here to perform Slimial Skip. Miniretin getting the boss key from the chest there. He threw the pot at the chest. You can only do that with that one chest. It's sort of like a puzzle, not puzzle. You can't open the chest, you have to throw a pot at it, and that's the only one in the game. It's just sort of weird. Ooh, getting the piece of power. That's good. I mentioned earlier in the third dungeon that piece of power... Ooh! Reeenium was just a little too far to the left right there. A little bit too far to the left. And she picked up the hook shot. Okay, she's... Did she forget to make a safety save? Did she forget to make a safety save? That is very bad for her. This is the first time someone's not made a safety save for this trick. So now she cannot retry it, and she's going to have to do the whole dungeon. This is a pretty hefty time loss for her. But as I was saying on Miniretin's side there, the piece of power is good in the third dungeon, and one other spot, being that spot where we used it right there, because you can grab the ball before Smasher in that fight, and you can do it without Piece of Power, but Piece of Power just makes it easier because you move faster. I think maybe like I think 2 minutes. I'm pretty sure Slimiel skip saves like 2 minutes. I'm trying to remember back to when it was first timed out. Also, the 6th dungeon, best boss in the game because his quick kill is really fun and challenging. Facade. Man, Rhaenyam just taking all sorts of damage here, constantly having to scavenge for health. That's just one of those things, one of those constant time losses that you want to avoid. Miniretin making good work of Facade here. Normally you're just supposed to put bombs down on his face, but this is a 3D game, so instead you can just use bomb arrows to hit the objects that fly towards you. He did mess up that last hit there, but he saved it with a bomb on his face, brought it back. It does look like Reeenium is going to be going for the old D5 skew, D5 key skip here that was used before that other trick, Slimiel skip, was found. This spark is going to cause some trouble. You can do the same technique that was seen in the 4th dungeon to throw the bomb onto the block for the double key skip in that dungeon, where you jump and turn slightly here, and then you can use that to hookshot this block, which is otherwise inaccessible from a diagonal angle because your angle is just ever so slightly different. See if she can line it up here. Just inching out, going inch by inch here. Angle a little too shallow there. I take it she's not too familiar with this trick because I know she is a newer runner. Started running when this trick wasn't even done in the run anymore. Miniretin is making his way into the sign maze here. One of the few sort of side questy objectives that we don't skip in the overworld, just because we can't. Alright, she got it there. There she goes. But this could be very dangerous for her. She's on 2 hearts going into the boss of this dungeon, which she is presumably unfamiliar with fighting, because you don't normally fight this boss. So she definitely does not want to get hit here. This tail can be quite a menace. This is quite interesting. We're seeing Slimiel in a tournament run. This is the first time that this has happened. A little bit too slow there to catch him out. You gotta hookshot his mouth to pull him out of the wall. Looks like Reeenium is just playing it safe here. Trying to do everything she can to avoid getting hit by that tail. Meanwhile, Miniretin is going to be getting the 3rd song after completing the sign maze. The Frog Song of Soul. And then Reeenium is just letting the clock tick down here. There are more advantageous positions you can stand in than the corner. You can see she tried to hookshot Slimiel diagonally there. You can't do that. I don't blame her for trying it, but it doesn't work. Oh, don't hookshot that one. That's a fake one. If you pull that out of the wall, it'll run around and explode. Not getting 2 cycles on Slimiel. Surely getting the 3rd here, though. Yes, there we go. Will she be taking this heart container? Not normally in the run. Yes, she will. She has lots more health than Miniretin here. Meanwhile, Miniretin is going to be using that song he just learned to revive the best thing in the game, the Blue Rooster. This is the best thing in the game. This rooster has one sole purpose in the game, which is to let you obtain the key for the 7th dungeon by crossing this big gap. But for whatever reason, it's just horrendously broken. It is insanely, absurdly, positively, disgustingly game-breaking. And you're gonna see that in effect very shortly here. Here it goes. A little too early there. Rhaenyam, I just realized Rhaenyam was about to head off to the 6th dungeon before ever getting the key for it. Good thing she stopped herself there. Alright, Miniretin getting the skip there, Flame Cave skip. So this is not the 7th dungeon, this is the 8th dungeon. Like I said, the rooster is very broken, and you can, in short, climb on an invisible ladder, and then jump on an invisible wall, and then jump to that ledge there, and now you're at the 8th dungeon. And you have to fight the dungeon before you can enter it. This is Turtle Rock. You have to fight Turtle Rock before you can enter Turtle Rock. Ooh, missing, getting hit there by Turtle Rock there. Summoning the Dactyl now, not good, always a threat. Those Dactyls deal a whole heart of damage. It's sort of absurd, but pretty alright Turtle Rock fight there. And now he's in the 8th dungeon, the longest and largest dungeon in the game, normally. But if everything goes as planned here coming up, then it's going to be a lot shorter. Reeenium taking her time on the Armos Knight here, just taking it slow and steady. Getting stunned there. Armos Knight is deceptively hard, I said it earlier. Miniretin missing the trick right there. And getting it second try. So yeah, that's D8 skip. You skip the whole dungeon, you take damage and get grabbed on the same frame. And in short, it makes you teleport erratically, and you eventually end up in the boss room like that. And you can just get the dungeon instrument and leave. And so now that we've done the 8th dungeon, we need to go do the 7th. We need to go backwards. Ooh, Miniretin on 1 health here against these Dactyls. Alright, he's farming some health here, very good for him. And now more Rooster out of bounds shenanigans, just getting on these rocks here. Going west to east across the mountains, which you're not at all supposed to be able to do. Avoiding these boulders, very nice, doesn't get hit. Those boulders deal a whole heart of damage, and they are very devastating because they just spawn randomly. And directly on the ladder at times. And now he's on the mountain and out of bounds here, right by the egg. Jumping back in bounds, just like that. Over the giant invisible wall. Oh, Rooster just popping into existence there to say hello. And now you will get to see the sole intended purpose for this rooster in this game. This room right here. That's it. And now you get the key for the 7th dungeon. Rhaenyam grabbing the level 2 power bracelet as Miniretin continues to perform absurd feats with this blue rooster. More air climbing, more walking on walls, just typical rooster stuff. And he's gonna phase through the ground. Oh, wow, no, he did not phase through the ground because he took damage on the tech type. Normally, if you just throw the rooster right there, you will fall through the ground before respawning on it. But that was very smart of him. I've never seen anyone do that. I didn't know that was that was a thing you could do there to prevent yourself from falling through the ground. Again, if you fall through the ground, you'll just respawn up on it, but it just loses a little bit of time compared to not falling through the ground, like 2 seconds or something. It didn't look too much slower. I'm not sure. Now Miniretin in the 7th dungeon. Despite Miniretin being in the 7th dungeon and Reeenium being in the 6th, Miniretin is ironically 2 dungeons ahead because you do the 8th dungeon before the 7th dungeon. That's just sort of funny. And now she'll be attempting this wall ride here. Ooh, just hugging the anti-fairy right there on Miniretin's side. Alright. Ooh, 3 of a kind, not being very kind. Neither is this this wall on Rhaenyam's side, giving her a little bit of trouble here. She's just taking it slow. I don't blame her. If you go fast on the wall, you do run the risk of falling off. And now Miniretin's gonna do a that same trick you saw in the 8th dungeon, except slightly different, because rather than just getting 1 frame and going, you know, to 1 location, you can get multiple frames here, and this looks like it'll either send him to the boss room or the instrument room. Instrument, very, very nice. That is the best outcome. You can either go to the boss room, the room before the boss room, or the instrument room. And instrument room is most ideal. There are other places you can go, but those are just the 3 best ones, and they're all grouped together. They're all sequential. Yeah, that was first try. And so now, Miniretin's going to be tying up some loose ends here, because he still has the 4th and 2nd dungeons left halfway finished. So he has to go finish those up, and there is this convenient little drop down outside the 7th dungeon, which just takes you to this basin here, right outside the 4th. Reeenium tangoing with the D6 Dodongo snakes. And there they go. Now Miniretin's going to be finishing up this dungeon here. And now is a good time to mention that both of these runners made their files with a method of RNG manipulation. So not only do they know the pattern for this puzzle right here, but they also know the path for the maze at the end of the game, which you normally have to do the whole trading sequence for to figure out. And he's getting squashed right there by the Thwomp. A little too eager to get running there. He has one bomb remaining. That's all he'll need for the remainder of the run. Don't need any more bombs after this. Dang, Reeenium has max arrows. She is stacked on arrows. Alright, Miniretin getting the little skip right there. That skips a single small key. Ooh, getting a very convenient pop as well. So now he'll be able to effectively kill angler keyfish twice as fast. They know the path at the end of the game because when you create a file, the path is generated based on a full second, what full second you make the file on. And so if you just make your file on a certain time from starting on your console, and on a certain full second, it can just be a path that you've already memorized. There's like a big list of all the paths per second. And you can just create your file on that second, and it will be that path. If the path were determined by like every millisecond, like which millisecond you make the file on, then that would be pretty much impossible to manipulate. But because it's a full second, it's just really easy. And what's great is that you don't need to make a new file every time you start a run. You can just make a file that has the RNG manip, and then just leave it there with no progress on it, and then you can just run on that and copy it and use it over and over. Now Miniretin's gonna be finishing up the second dungeon here as Rhaenyam goes and faces off against Facade. Let's see how she fares in this fight. It's a challenging fight. Ooh, bomb getting knocked away by the tiles there. Looks like it'll still hit, yep. It looks like she might not be using bomb arrows for Facade. Yeah, she's not using bomb arrows, so this is going to be significantly slower than using bomb arrows. She has all those arrows, so it's a little strange, but maybe she's just not comfortable with doing it. It is pretty challenging. Yeah, the German version is faster because there's just less text boxes. Because you can instantly mash through the text, it doesn't matter how fast it scrolls, it just matters how many text boxes there are. Like at the end of a dungeon, there's that white screen, and it says like, normally in like English, it'll have two screens of this slow white text, but in German, it's just one screen. They just condense all the text. Reeenium finishing up the 6th dungeon here as Miniretin makes his way to the boss of the 2nd dungeon. And he's going to be performing a skip in this room. He's going to be trying to do a skip here. Like I said, you can skip this boss, but you need the item from the 3rd dungeon, and this is the 2nd. So you just come back later once you have the boots and when it's most convenient to. And the end of the game is the most convenient time because this dungeon is right next to the egg, the final dungeon. Let's see if you can get this skip here. Genie skip. Genie skip is pretty tough. Oh no, a little too late there. He's basically trying to jump inside the pot there, and then dash into it, and he'll get clipped out of the door, out of the room. And then he can walk back into the room, and the boss will be inactive, and he can just go get the instrument. He can just go walk in. Again, too late. Looks like he's going, trying to clip in directly to the instrument room here. People don't usually do that because it's less consistent than just doing the bottom door, but it is, like, slightly faster, obviously, because you're just closer to the door. And he does not get it. So, no more attempts at Genie Skip. You can only try it those 3 times until his pot breaks. Well, you could try it more as long as you don't damage his pot, but at that point you'd just be losing time. Taking out Genie there on half a heart, I believe. I wouldn't be surprised if he grabs this heart container. Yep. And now that he has all the instruments, he's going to be heading into the final dungeon, so to speak, the egg, where he will fight the final boss. Yeah, that was tragic what happened to Reeenium. She forgot to make a safety save for Slimeal Skip, and so she missed it and she couldn't retry it. She just had to do the whole dungeon. That's like a huge time loss. Strackle flexing his Genie Skip proficiency in the chat after yesterday's tournament run. Rhaenyam bonking every object in sight there. Even bonking the tree in the prairie with the fairy in it. And now she's gonna be reviving the rooster as well, as Miniretin will be making his way through the egg maze shortly here. Dying to Nightmare happens. It deals a lot of damage, and you have to take damage in order to kill him quickly. Now Miniretin's going to be navigating this egg maze. As I said, he already knows his way through it. You might notice that because he doesn't have the magnifying lens, which you normally need to figure out the path, the egg maze is much darker and much cooler looking. And just like that, he's made his way through it. And now he'll be fighting Nightmare. First phase, Nightmare's Soul. Ooh, getting juked out. getting the okie doke right there from Nightmare Soul. That's a rather uncommon occurrence, but it does happen. He moves pretty fast after he spawns, like pretty soon. I mean, let's see how many blue balls Miniretin gets from Nightmare Aghanim. That's 1. He can give no more than 3 balls of either color, so the max he can give is 9 blue balls. There's 2. And there's oh no, not 3. Only 2 blue balls. This is very good. Ooh, Nightmare Moldorm giving Miniretin a little tap on the shoulder there. Nightmare Ganon not getting the super quick kill where you only take 1 heart of damage. That's not too big a deal. Nightmare Lanmola. Very nice. And now Deathel. Miniretin has more than enough arrows. You need 10 arrows. Just bonking, bonk. Ooh, missing an arrow there, but it's okay because he has extra, and there we go. That's Deathel down, and Miniretin's time for this race will be that was like a 1:15:40, 1:15:41, 1:15:40. And on Rhaenyam's side here, Flame Cave Skip is giving her big trouble. Can someone correct me if I'm wrong? Didn't she also have lots of trouble on Flame Cave Skip in her first race? This is like her nemesis trick, it would seem. It is a very hard trick. There's not really any good visual cue for it or anything. It's a very feel-based, muscle memory-based trick, but she gets it. Finally gets it. Now she'll be fighting Turtle Rock. Unfortunately, though, Miniretin has won first, so Reeenium will be eliminated from the tournament. This is loser's bracket after all. So Miniretin will continue. Well, Reeenium will be eliminated, but it's very nice that she's just continuing to run here, despite that. Just finishing it out. Could we see Miniretin and Strackle Grand Finals, perhaps? The 2 French runners squaring off against each other. Now she will be attempting this D8 skip. Let's see how it goes for her. I did mention, ooh, that was 1 frame late. This trick is frame perfect. One frame late again. Oof. When Link gets grabbed like that but doesn't take the bomb arrow damage, that means you were a frame late. If you do take the bomb arrow damage, it just means you were early. Frame late again, 3 times in a row. Let's see if she can get this. That time it was just plainly early. She has lots of extra bombs and arrows and lots of health as well. And she gets it. Alright, very nice. There is a bracket. Let me pull it up here. Oh, the bot did it for me. Alright. Yes, that is the bracket. That is the bracket link. The next two matches are the 16th and the 17th. So there's quite a gap between then and now. Lots of time to practice. Rhaenyam not getting on the rock there, by the way, falling down. Has to auto load. God forbid she die to these boulders coming up here. Oh, if I were her, I would have grabbed that health right there. Because these boulders coming up deal a whole heart of damage, and they are random, and they love to fall on the ladder. Oh my goodness. Wow, okay. She made it. She made it. Yeah, I would just farm these rocks here. Now she'll be clipping out of bounds here because ladders are broken, the rooster is broken. When you combine both of them, you get stuff like that. Yes, on the 17th, Strackle and chat here will be facing off against world record holder TGH. Be sure to tune into that one. That's going to be a match right there. But Strackle has shown that he has the stuff to contend with like top 3 pretty much. He's beaten Miniretin, who was not top 3 at the time, but then like the day after got 3rd place. And then he beat Jums yesterday, who is 2nd place. And now he'll be going up against 3rd place in his next match. Or did I say 3rd? I meant 1st place. Going up against 1st place in his next match. Reeenium getting the bird key, carrying on here. Oh, no problem. I love commentating these things. See you later. Oh, what? What is Reeenium doing? Is she just going the long way through the caves? That's interesting. I can't remember if she even did that in her first match. You can fall off the wall right there, so it is a little dangerous, and it's just sort of a... Getting on that wall is just sort of feel-based. Yeah, I love commentating these matches. I commentated like 2 matches yesterday. This is the 2nd one I've had to solo commentate, but I don't mind it. Reeenium is lost in this wall here. Alright, she found her way out. Now she'll be entering the 7th dungeon The Hinox warp in this dungeon, it was said earlier in chat, the one in this dungeon is a lot more forgiving than the one in the 8th dungeon, because the one in the 8th dungeon is 1 frame, but this one you can get multiple frames, 3 of which are beneficial. There's more frames than 3 that are beneficial, but 3 of them are grouped together all sequentially, and those are the ones that you want to aim for. Oh, just trying to unlock that door there without a key. I didn't mention, by the way, the medicine that was gotten in the 6th dungeon is used for this Hinox warp, because in order for it to work, you have to die with the medicine, because the period during which you're being revived makes you warp around for longer, and if you're not doing that, then you won't warp to where you're trying to go to. Taking out the 3 of a kind, they can be pretty nasty. They love to get in the way and get stuck in those corridors and just never move. Ooh, Goomba Room. That's all right. That's the first of the 3 good frames you can get, and now I should be fighting the boss of the dungeon here. I didn't see how many arrows she had. If she has spare arrows, she could be shooting Eagle right here as he flies over. I know she had tons of arrows in the 6th dungeon. Ooh, don't get blown off. In the original, this fight was like brutal because the wind was so much stronger, and if you fell off, his health would reset. But in this game, if you fall off, his health just stays, and you just get assaulted as you try to climb the ladder. Pretty good eagle fight. Will she be getting this heart container as well? Yes. Getting all the heart containers this run. Yeah, I know in the original you can just drop bombs on the ladder, or like you can scroll the hook shot for the rod at the top of the screen. Getting the instrument here, and now she'll be finishing up the 4th dungeon. And then she's not gonna have any 2nd dungeon to finish up because she did that at the start of the run. She did that different route. And so she doesn't need to do that at all. She just has to finish this dungeon and then go fight the boss, final boss. Man, she has tons of bombs left. Never seen this many bombs at this point in the run. I think she's using the same RNG seed as Miniretin. I can't remember, but that tile pattern looked similar. Now she'll be getting the boss key. This little key skip right here is honestly like one of my favorite tricks in the game, just because it's so simple. Like, they moved the pots there so you couldn't do the jump in this game compared to the originals, but they also made it so that bombs destroy pots, so you can just do that. I like to think that some level designer was just being cheeky and left that in. It's hard to tell. Because they could have just put blocks instead of pots, and you wouldn't be able to do that at all with bomb arrows. Getting hit by the angler fry there. Not getting the double, triple spin slashes, whichever it is, on anglerfish here. Just slashing away. That is big. But what is that body part even called on a fish? Lure? Proboscis? No. A proboscis, that's like an insect thing, like butterflies have. A little like tongue that unfolds, uncurls. Bonking on the instrument. Customary. And now, she will just be going straight to the final dungeon. And it'll be cool to see how many blue balls she gets compared to Miniretin, because Miniretin only got 2, which is very good. Ooh, this could be a PB for her? Interesting. Okay, I was gonna say, like, she has splits on her screen. Are these, like, tournament splits? Or just her actual splits? heading into the egg now as our second racer winds down in this ending sequence here. I think she and Miniretin might be using the same RNG seed. I'm not sure. I wasn't paying too close attention. Into the nightmare fight now. Let's see how many blue balls she gets. I don't think there is any threat of death here with how many hearts she has. Very safe. Yeah, she is positively stacked for hearts. One blue ball. Only one so far. Two blue balls. Three. Only three. Only one more than Miniretin. Very good. I would say 3 is like the highest amount that is acceptable. Getting the Ganon quick kill. Neither of our runners got the super quick kill. That's alright. Ooh, getting assaulted by Nightmare Lamola here. He does move very fast. So after the first shot that Aghanim fires, which is always a normal red ball, he has a 50-50 chance to get either a red ball or a blue ball. And if it's a blue ball, you can't hit it back. It's just lost time. But he can only fire 3 of either ball in a row. After that, he's always guaranteed to fire the opposite type of ball. So the maximum amount of blue balls he can give you is 9. So if he gave you like 3 blue balls in a row, you would know that the next one is red, and vice versa. Taking care of Deathel there, 10 arrows, out of the way. And that is a 137-35. Big props to Rhaenyam for being such a trooper and just continuing the run there. That Flame Cave skip was giving her big trouble, but I think she made a noticeable improvement on it compared to her last run. She tackled it a lot quicker. And we have Miniretin and Reeenium in the voice call here for post-game interviews. Congrats, Miniretin, on the win. You will be continuing your arduous adventure out of the lower bracket. Hopefully, you can meet your French brother Strackle in the winners bracket. That would be quite something.
It will be crazy.
GG, Minnie. Good job. That was
GG,
awesome.
Reeenium.
Yeah, GG to everyone.
Great job.
it was really interesting seeing you both take different routes.
Yeah, I ended up taking a real different route in D5 because I forgot to save, but
Oh, that was tragic.
Yeah.
it was.
You have forget to save, so?
Yeah, I forgot to save, and then I missed a hookshot rocket, so I had to fight Slime-Meal.
Oh,
Yeah, she did the whole
no.
dungeon.
Oh, not like this. Oh my
It's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
If I didn't have to do that, it probably wouldn't have been a PB for me. But
Yeah.
it
I
went better
think
than
so.
my last match, so I'm happy. Your run was really good, Minnie.
Yeah, that was pretty great. I didn't miss AK skip. I got second time to the hook shot at D5 and got like the dungeon 7 first try, so 2 instrument room. So yes, it was great.
Yeah, that was
on
very
this.
good. Man, every time you do Slime-Meal skip, I get scared because you go on the right side and I just go like, oh no, he can't get it. He's too far right. Oh, he saved it. But no, that's just actually the way you do it. I was told.
Yeah, because I'm at one time I'm missing a lot to don't go through him, and I was like, how I can save this if it happens. So I found this strat to like immediately put a bomb on the left side. So it's not easier, but at least it saves the trick.
It just works for you.
Yeah.
Hey, do what works. And let me check the schedule here. Our next two races will be on the 16th. That will be Jums versus Lime. I believe isn't that also another losers bracket race?
That's gonna be a good one.
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's gonna be real interesting. See if Lime has been putting in the practice as he claims to step toe to toe with any second place world record holder. Well, I guess if it's second place, it's not world record, but you get the point. Jumps
Second
and then
world record.
yeah, second world record. And then the day after that, on the 17th, we will have Strackle versus TGH, and Jums versus Lime is going to be 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Strackle versus TGH is going to be 10 a.m. So we got one late and one early. I'm excited for Strackle and TGH because Strackle's been, making a run through third and second place record holders this whole tournament. It'll be interesting to see how he does against first place.
Yeah, he have training.
8 p.m.
out
Oh,
for
you're
this.
right. My bad. 8 p.m. My math, my military time. Jums versus Lime will be at 8 p.m. EST on the 16th. Strackle versus TGH will be at 10 a.m. on the 17th. And those are the next two races. Lots of time for both runners to practice. I don't really have anything else, any more questions or anything. So again, big congrats to you, Miniretin. You'll be continuing.
Yeah,
Reeenium, still big props to you for just being a real trooper on that run, just continuing, not giving up no matter what.
Thank you. Shoutouts to Gems for helping me practice.
Right. Big improvement on Flame Cave skip, I must say.
I was nervous about that one, so
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with it.
So any shoutouts or final remarks either of you would want to say, go ahead.
Thank you, and GG Minnie.
Yeah, GG Rhaenyam, and thank for make this possible again.
Oh yeah, thank you to
as
Live
always.
and TGH's organizers and ZSR too.
Yeah,
big
and thanks
thanks
for
to
the
the
comment.
ZSR people for hosting this whole tournament. This has been a blast commentating these matches.
Nice. So have a great day. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, you're welcome, and also thank you, Kincaid, for commentating this one. We are going to wrap this up now, because in about 15 minutes on this channel we have a qualification race for Breath of the Wild any percent. And also check the schedule for more Zelda content here on all our 4 CSR channels. See you next time.
Yep, stick around for more Zelda stuff. See y'all later.